Have you ever been in a position where you've asked yourself, what do you do? Who are you? And who do you help? In this video, the entrepreneur couple, Dominique
And
and
Felicia.
Felicia, we're going to talk about who you are, what you do, and how you help people,
Right.
right? As coaches, as entrepreneurs, that's one of the biggest questions we get from our clients. I don't know what I do. I don't know who I help, and I don't know how I can help them. Now, we're going to talk about this from a place of personal experience because we too have struggled with this for a very long time, right? And one of the things that we learned, you do a lot of things. So, try not to mix up what you do with who you are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Babe, you want to touch on that real quick? There's a big area there where for a while we struggled with what do we do, right?
Yeah.
Because we did so many things
Mm-hmm.
coming from a 9 to 5 or a job environment or being in so many different companies and having so many businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did we figure that out? Or if we figured it out, or like,
Mm-hmm.
what's your thoughts on that?
I think we're still figuring it out. However, we do realize that our past, our experiences make us who we are right now. And so, in order for us to kind of like decide which route that we wanted to take, we had to do a lot of self-analyzation on ourselves as a couple because
Hmm.
we knew that we wanted to do a business as a couple as well.
Hmm.
And we had to ask ourselves a lot of questions. So the first thing that I would say is, start asking questions.
Well, I got a question. Would you say right now we know what we do, and I know we know who we are, right?
Right.
Because we say Dominique and Felicia and the
Right.
entrepreneur couple, so we
Right.
know who we are.
Right.
But would you say that right now, this very given moment, that
Mhm.
we know what we do? You have something like to say, so would you say at this very given moment we know what we do?
Would I say at this very given
Yeah,
moment that we know what we do?
yeah. And let's be real. Like, we're talking
I,
about it. Let's talk about
you
it. Let's be
know,
real. Let's relax a little bit and let's talk about it. Because I know a lot of people.
uh-huh.
Listen, if you're struggling with that, not knowing what you do,
Hmm.
because you have so many skills, gifts, talents, this is the video. This is the conversation for you. We gonna knock that down in this conversation.
Right. I don't know if we're gonna knock it down, but we may open your eyes a little bit more. It's
We'll open the box.
We're gonna open the box, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna pull some stuff out. I think that I'm still figuring out exactly what I do.
Mm,
I know who I am, but I'm still figuring out what I do.
mm,
I've had plenty of experience in the medical field. I've had experience in the network marketing field.
mm-hmm.
I've had experience in the health field, personal training, nutrition field.
Nutrition, yeah.
I've had
Insurance.
I have experience in call centers and like sales and marketing field. So it's like, when you put all those components together, I've had experience in all of them. So
Mm-hmm.
what I had to come to realize is you may have experience in all these areas, but which area do you like? Which area don't you mind continuously doing? And which area is out there that people are asking for?
Mm.
And so I had to, pull myself back, and just ask myself questions of, Felicia, let's go back to your first job. You remember when you used
Mm-hmm.
to like map out where we came from like my
Oh,
first
yeah,
job
yeah. That was a good
from
exercise.
when I was
Yeah,
like 13 years old
yeah,
to
yeah,
like my transition
yeah.
to where I am now. And when you look back where you came from, you're like, man, I forgot that I had this
You did a lot
job.
of
I
jobs. Yeah,
forgot I did
yeah.
this. I forgot that I did that. And you got to understand that there's pieces and bits of skills that you take
Mm-hmm.
from each and every one of those areas that makes you who you are right now. And I think a lot of people is trying to figure out their purpose.
Yeah,
They're trying to figure
yeah.
out their purpose. And what I've learned is, there's some people who are born with the talent. They
Mm-hmm.
know how to sing, or they're very athletic. They're just born with it. That's the
Mm-hmm.
God-given gift. But there's some people who are still trying to figure it out, and you're figuring it out trying to think that, your gift is an epiphany. But your gift is not really an epiphany. Your gift is everything that you've done thus far and what you choose to do.
Yeah, I
And
like that.
as you go through life, you choose what makes you even more happier and what makes you happy. And if you could get paid from it, you found a sweet spot.
I like that, and this is something that we've been talking about for maybe like the last 7 years.
I don't
Once,
think we
once,
ever stopped talking about it.
yeah, we don't. Once,
We
once,
don't.
once we figured out a BP, we took a course, and they were talking about discovering your big promise statement. Like,
Hmm.
what do you do? What do you bring to the marketplace? Especially with social media, right? Because you have an Instagram bio or a
Hmm.
TikTok bio, and they tell you have to optimize your page.
Hmm.
Tell people what you do in your bio,
Who you are,
who
what
you
you
are, what
do,
you do,
what
and
is what you call it? What results have you gotten, or what results have you helped people get?
right.
Yeah.
So it's like we had to learn you're all of those things. And we did an exercise where, and you can do this exercise too. You take a piece of paper and you just draw some lines on there, some horizontal lines, and you start from now. You say, okay, this is what I do now. This is how much money I make. And what were you doing before that? You write that job down and how much you made.
Hmm.
And you write that job down and how much you made. And you do the one before that and how much you made. And the
Hmm.
one before that and how much you made. And what you will realize is you go back all the way in time to your
Hmm.
first job. And what I realized doing that exercise is when I was a personal trainer, what I did was personal training.
Hmm.
Who I was a health coach. And when I was in the financial field, I realized what I did was I sold insurance and we sold financial products. Well, who I was, that wasn't me.
Right.
And when we got into Forex, what I did was I was a trader,
Hmm.
but who I am was not that.
Right.
So, what I could say I've learned from that is who you are is constant, but what you do is always changing,
Hmm.
right? And even right now, like we have a lot of clients we work with who are having a lot of success in the entrepreneur world when it comes to digital product creation, launching, and making money. But even now, I still don't feel like I'm a digital product coach,
Right. Right.
right? I know
Yeah.
we gave ourselves the title of business optimization coaches,
Right.
but what the heck is a business optimization coach anyway? And
Right.
what the heck do you do?
Hmm.
So, like it's so weird
Giving yourself that title.
giving yourself that title.
But
Yeah.
it's giving yourself that title so that, when you meet somebody, you're able to explain who you are and what you do. And that's the reason that the title is there.
Would you say that's programming? Would you say that not programming in a way of bad programming? Would you say that's a society programming?
Hmm.
And sometimes we try to bring stuff from normal cultural world
Hmm.
that don't fit in a different type of world. Because
Hmm.
at a regular job, somebody's like, if you go outside right now and ask my neighbor, what do you do?
Right.
Like we just got some new neighbors,
Hmm.
and we know what she does
Right.
because she's wearing scrubs.
Right.
So we know she's either
She's in the medical
she's in the
field.
medical field. She's either a
Yeah.
nurse or
Hmm.
she's either an anesthesia person or
Hmm.
she's somebody in the
Right.
nursing world
Right.
because she has nursing clothes.
Hmm.
If you see somebody with paint on
Hmm.
their clothes,
Right.
he's probably a painter.
Or
But
carpenter.
are you a painter though, or do you just do painting?
Right.
Right? So I think that's the part where we get confused,
Hmm.
where we try to become the
Hmm.
thing that we do
Hmm.
when we're who we are,
Hmm.
and the thing that we do is something different.
So I guess it's not that it's programming. It's I think when people ask what is it that you do, they want to know what is it that you do and if what you could do can help me.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I mean think about it. If
Yeah,
and it's
isn't
not
you think it's just
everybody.
conversational
It's
pieces?
conversation pieces. It's not everybody who's gonna sit there like just to start a conversation is how you doing? What's your name? Right?
Yeah, how you doing?
What's
I'm
your
alright.
name?
My name's Dominique.
Okay, what do you do? That's just part of the
Okay,
lingo.
so you want to know something that I remember that really changed my whole paradigm on this whole concept?
I know what it is.
What?
It's when we met I forgot his name, but he asked but they asked him what he
Oh, you
do.
you remember? It was Bill
Yeah,
Arender.
Bill Orender. And
Yeah, they asked him, "What do you do?"
he's like, I spend time with my family,
He says, "I'm a
I'm
grandparent.
a grandparent and
I
so
take my
what
grandkids
how
fishing."
right. What
Yeah,
switched the paradigm is what do you do or how do you make money? So that's the
yeah,
thing.
that's the difference. Like,
And so we're programmed to ask, what do you do? And that what do you do basically means how do you make money? But
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
like a Bill Orender
Yeah.
would just say, "Oh, I just spend time with my
I spend time with my
children.
kids.
I
Right.
go grocery shopping. We go
Right.
to what?" And we'll look at them like,
Right.
"No, what do you do?"
Do you remember when MJ had a meeting? She had like something at school,
Mhm.
and they were asking her, "What do your parents do?"
Mhm.
And she was like, they, I don't know.
Mhm.
She said they always home."
Yeah.
And because most kids, your parents, their parents are either a doctor, a nurse, a mechanic, a bus driver, a school teacher, a police
Mhm.
officer, or a firefighter. So when a teacher asks a child, "Hey, what does your parents do?" "Oh, my dad's a police officer." Okay, so you know exactly what he does.
Mhm.
But when they ask our daughter, "Hey, what do your parents do?" She was like,
And that's the thing. You see, you just answered it. When a person asks you, what do you do?
mm-hmm,
It's for them to have a picture effect of what do you do. So like when the person goes and says, what do you do? Oh, I'm a police officer. So you know they out in the streets either giving
yeah,
tickets or,
they give it a ticket,
or
right, right.
saving people
You see
lives.
how they can help you. You're like, oh, I can get a PVA card.
Right, right. But it's not necessarily just about helping, but it's just it gives you a clearer picture of who that person is and what they do. But what they do don't make them who they are.
Doesn't make who them are.
You feel what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
it's more like is it a programming? It is because
yeah.
you know we were taught to go to school, get good grades, come
hmm
out and get a good job.
Right.
So
So the title,
now,
it's a
so
title.
now, get a good job with what? Get a
Get it?
good job
Benefits.
with
Yeah, with
benefits.
benefits. So
You
you can get, so
understand?
you can make money.
So
You
you
get
can
paid.
make money.
Yeah.
So now, where it's not that it's part of a conversation. What do you do?
What do you?
You
So
know?
let me ask you this: do you think that when somebody's asking you, "What do you think that the question that they really want to ask you? Because I had that experience here at the
Mhm.
house.
Mhm.
Somebody came to install the stove,
Mhm.
and he asked me. He was like, "Hey, what?" He was like,
What do you do?
he said, "Hey, you guys are pretty young to be living here.
Right.
What do you do?" And I was like, I stay home. I'm with the
But
kids. I'm
people don't
hanging
understand
out."
that concept.
So he said he was confused,
Right, right.
and I looked at him and I said, "Are you asking me what do I do, or are you asking me how do I make money?
Mhm.
Because you just don't understand how
Mhm.
I'm living the way I'm living."
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, how do you make money?"
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, well, that's a different conversation because I make money multiple ways." I
Right.
said, I trade.
Mhm.
We have digital products that we sell.
Right.
We have a couple of businesses that pay us passively.
Mhm.
So, I could be here all day and tell you the different ways that we make money.
Right.
But what I do, I said, I just try to I do dad stuff. I
I
do
try to be
husband stuff.
present, you know?
I try to be present.
Right. It's more of that there's a different type of awareness that we have, and the reason that we have it is because of the rooms and the people that we've met.
Yeah.
Like somebody, I think one of the biggest things that I learned was somebody saying how I think this person was saying, "Oh, how I make like $50,000 a month,"
hmm
and he was like, "I'm broke."
Yeah.
And the person, and then
Yeah.
he was like, "I'm broke at
Yeah.
50,000," and people looking at him
Yeah.
like,
So I made 50 grand last month and I'm still broke.
"I'm still broke," and somebody is looking at him like, Man, listen, I
I'll
make
take
like
50.
three G's.
I'll
Like
take
I'll
50.
take fifty
Right, I'll
thousand.
be
How
broke at
you?
50.
I'll be broke at 50. You feel what I'm saying? And what we had to learn was,
hmm
compared to who?
Compared to who?
You know,
Yeah.
you're broke at this level compared to who? So some
Yeah.
people are making 3,000 and they feel that they're great.
Yeah, they're
But then when
good.
we look at those people, we're like, man, like 3,000 ain't enough for us,
Yeah.
compared to who? That's because
Yeah.
we've been able to see that there is more out there.
Yeah.
There is more out there. And so when we say regular people, it's just,
It's regular thinking. Probably average
it's
thinking.
average,
Average thinking. It's not regular people because we're all regular people.
right.
Average thinking people.
Right. So, 'cause we all went to school
Yeah.
for the most part. If you live in the
We
States, we
all
all,
came out the vagina. You all came out unless you had a C-section, you came out the belly, but you was all a fetus and you was all a sperm and an egg at some point.
right.
Yeah,
So, and we just kind of all, if I would talk about programming,
yeah,
we've all just kind of been programmed to do the traditional route.
yeah.
And the traditional route is asking somebody, what's your name and what do you do?
What do you do? Yeah, I think most transformational thing that happened for me, I think you opened my eyes to that.
I always open your eyes.
Um, yeah, I think it was your brother. He came and we were on the deck in the back and we were
Mhm.
chilling
Mhm.
and he said, "Hey, what you working on?" He said, "What you working on? Like, what's your focus right now?"
Oh,
And
my brother asked me.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
said, "Listen, I'm just focused on trying to get paid to be me. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to do nothing. I don't want to be somebody else. I want to get paid to be me."
Right.
And um, not necessarily want to go out there and do things. I want to set up income streams where I'm generating income passively, and but I still got a chance to be myself.
Right.
And I think that was so powerful because I slept on that for nights, and even now I still think about it. And when you really think about it, what if you were making all the money that you needed to take care of your monthly expenses and your daily expenses and your lifestyle, and you didn't really have to go to work? Like like let's say you were a mechanic or you're a bus driver or you're a pilot or you're a flight attendant. Let's say you made all the money that you needed to live and take care of your family.
Mhm.
Would you still go to work?
Right.
And if you lost your job, do you lose your title?
Mhm.
Do you lose your identity?
Mhm.
Because I know a lot of people that their identity is tied to their job,
Yeah. Facts.
right?
Mhm.
And when you lose your job, you kind of lose your identity.
Right.
And God is funny like that. He will
Mhm.
take that job from you
Mhm.
so you can go find your true identity,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? He'll take that situation, he'll take that car, he'll take the
Mhm.
relationship, he'll take the kids,
The
he'll
money,
take the money,
everything.
so you can go find yourself.
Mhm.
And truly, you're not finding yourself. He wants you to come find him.
Right.
So, when you look at it, who are you? Who are we?
Mhm.
We're child of God. We're children of God. We're made in God's image. We're
Mhm.
made in the highest form of creation. We were
Mhm.
formed in God's image.
Right.
And what we do is, I believe that we all have the ability to serve people.
Mhm.
So who are we? We're servants,
Right.
right? We're servants with different skills that fit into the ecosystem of just how the world flows.
Mhm.
There's some people who have gifts with their hands. There's some people who are gifted in the kitchen. There's some people who are gifted with their voice,
Mhm.
right? And what do? I'm a singer. But what happens when you stop singing?
Mhm.
Do you lose your identity?
That's what happens. People just end up feeling like they lost a piece of them and who they are.
When they can't work?
Like, just think about it. A person who from junior high
Hmm.
was playing basketball,
Yeah,
high school playing
yeah,
basketball, college played basketball,
yeah,
and then they tear their Achilles heels
yeah.
and
Get injured or
they
something
get
like that.
injured
Yeah,
and they're supposed, like that depression hits because you was tied your whole life
your
around
identity
your identity around the fact that I play ball
to
and
what you
I'm
do.
gonna be a pro basketball player, and that pro basketball player world is what's gonna make me my income in order for me to live.
Right.
And so it's tied to who you are and what you do. And when that is taken away from you, you got to go back to the drawing board. And going back to the drawing board is sometimes overwhelming, depressing, and confusing.
Yeah, one of my favorite person, and I'm saying this now, but I always ask myself if I had to meet one person or two people, let's put two. If I had
Hmm.
to meet two people, maybe three, but I'll pick one right now
Hmm.
that I would want to meet and I would want to talk to.
Hmm.
I think one of the people I would want to talk to is probably Usain Bolt.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna put that because everybody who I say I want to meet, I usually get to meet them, and it's because this dude won the Olympics 3 times in a row,
Hmm.
broke his record back to back,
Hmm.
and the Olympics happen every 4 years.
Right.
So can you imagine winning it one year, then waiting 4 years, beating your record again,
Hmm.
4 years again,
Hmm.
beating a record again, 4 years?
Hmm.
That's a total of 12 years
Right.
that you dominated.
Hmm.
But you don't dominate in one day. You have to prepare for
Hmm.
12 years.
Stay ready.
Stay ready.
Hmm.
Not to mention, you had to get ready to the 12 years.
Right.
But what do you do or who are you
Hmm.
when you're no longer doing that?
Right.
And I know he went and played football. He went and played soccer. And that's somebody who I would love to talk to say, yo, like, how did you deal with that? How did you handle that where you're one of the most elite performers here, but your life is not done and you still have so much energy, life, and vitality left? What do you do with the time?
Right. You do what Bill Arenda do.
You do what Bill Arenda do.
You know,
Right.
spend time with your family. You're present. You love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're loving the moments, and I think that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to be able to have the time to do whatever they want. They want to be able to. Yes, I'm coming. They want to be able to have the time to do whatever they want, to have the income to do whatever they want, and to be able to be healthy and live a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
I think ultimately that's what people are looking for.
Yeah. Listen, if you're in that position where you're trying to figure out who you are, what you do, and how you bring value to society, do me a favor,
Hold on.
comment below, and let us know the biggest challenge that you have in that situation. Obviously, our kids are home. Two of our daughters are home, so we're gonna wrap this up here.